India has much higher number of banknotes in circulation than the US dollar or euro. It's a big deal, right? Yeah, but that's right. According to the recent remarks by RBI Deputy Governor Shirish Chandra Murmu, about 176 billion Indian banknotes are currently in circulation. Compare that, roughly about 56 billion US dollar bill and around 30 billion euro banknotes. But you know why India does need so many notes here? Let's talk about that. Ladies and gentlemen, the answer that is largely the denomination structure. India continues to use a large number of lower value note, particularly 10 or 20 rupee note. Add to that India's huge population, the scale of small value transaction and continued importance of cash, and you get a huge number of physical banknotes here. But yes, there is an important point here. The number of notes does not mean that Indians necessarily use more cash than Americans or Europeans in every single situation. It partly reflects how the currencies are actually structured. Well, Murmu said India produces around 28 to 30 billion banknotes every year across 6 denominations and disposes of roughly 21 billion pieces, and that too annually. Can you think about what that really means operationally? Every note has to be printed, it has to be transported, it has to be counted, stored, circulated, checked for quality, and eventually destroyed when it becomes unfit to use. The scale of this entire currency management system, it is enormous. And yes, despite India's rapid growth in digital payment, cash has not disappeared. UPI may have transformed the way Indians pay for everything. You name it, groceries, taxis. But you know what? Physical currency remains deeply embedded in the economy. Well, the huge number of banknotes therefore tell us something very important about India here. It is not simply a story about cash versus digital payment. It is also a story about population, denomination, geography, and sheer scale of everyday transaction. Well, from the world of currency, we now move to a very different kind of story, one that directly concerns Indians who are living in America. For decades, America offered opportunity and Indians brought talent, ambition, enterprise. It became one of the great immigrant success stories of our times. Much has changed. Indians today, they head the global corporation, they occupy senior position in tech, in finance, teach at America's finest universities, they run hospitals, they run laboratories, they build the startup, and they are increasingly visible in politics and public life. More than 5.2 million people of Indian origin, they live in the US today. And Indian families are among the most highly educated immigrant communities in that particular nation. And yet, traveling through America in 2026, I find myself asking a simple question. America clearly still wants Indian talent, but does it remain equally comfortable with the Indians who bring that talent? Well, I don't ask this as an accusation. America has given generations of Indians opportunities their own country was often unable to provide. But the mood around immigration, it has changed. And the journey from skilled immigrant to permanent resident, it has become painfully uncertain. Now consider the scale of India's contribution here. In fiscal year 2024, Indians accounted for about 71% of approved H-1B petition. Roughly 7 out of every 10 approval, it went to Indians. And the pipeline, it begins at universities. Around 363,000 plus Indian students were studying in the US during the 2024-25 academic year, making Indian Americans largest source of international students. For decades, India complained about brain drain, but perhaps we frame the problem incorrectly here. Ladies and gentlemen, the brains, they were Indians, but the ecosystem that recognized, financed, and multiplied their value, it was often American. If India wants its best scientists, engineers, and entrepreneurs to stay, or wants successful Indians abroad to return, patriotic appeal, it will not be enough for us. Universities, Companies, investors, research institutions, they have to create an ecosystem where talent can actually flourish. America has its own contradiction, by the way. Its economy has become remarkably good at recruiting Indian talent, while its immigration system struggles to provide that talent with a predictable route towards permanency here. The green card backlog for Indians, it has become almost surreal. The August 2025 visa bulletin that shows EB2 India unavailable for final action, while EB3 final action date, it stands at January 1st, 2014. You know, behind that date, there are real people who have spent maybe years working, paying taxes, raising their children, and building career in America. There is something contradictory about an economy saying that we value your skills, definitely, and that too a lot, while its immigration system that says a different thing. We cannot tell you when you will finally belong here with us.